to do this, and we're here now. So let's capture your speaks, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you walked in, you had this like massive thing, and it's all fresh. And let's just sit and drink coffee, and you all just yammer and talk, and I'll record all of it on audio here. This is 3D audio.
That is what you get.
Right.
Try that.
Right,
Yeah.
99 hours.
No, it is.
So we'll catch it all, we'll not miss anything, and then we can just get it all out, and we can mine it later for the nuggets of wisdom in it, right? It's all going in here anyhow.
Okay. Right.
Okay, because this is a very great wisdom we've made here together. And especially for those who haven't been in it before, because those, me, Gary, you and me, and you a bit, we don't, it's like, you just live in the cold. And it's like, you don't need a procedure.
No more than any of these other guys.
Yeah, but it's so, but again, for someone whose experience is very raw, you still can get in the head of someone who might not remember to drink the flask. Me and you don't drink the flask, of me, I can't fucking imagine it, right? Although as a guide, I make sure that we do.
Yeah.
So let's capture it while it's raw. Also, this is tartan blanket and stuff,
moment,
right?
yeah.
This is the stories, let's get them.
It is. I mean, for me, the if you like culmination of this trip, been in the cold many times. Some I'd probably say against me will because of the military. I just had to do it. But I've been in the cold for a lot of fun, and I've seen the aurora a few times. I've been lucky enough to see it 4 or 5 times. But 3 nights ago blew my socks off. I have never experienced in my life anything like that. The colours, the dancing, the shapes, the people in the aurora. There was at one point it looked like a phoenix to me, and then it turned into an angel. I'm like, what is going on? Absolute mind-blowing stuff. And the fact that I got to share it with all you guys, the fact that I got to share it especially with the guys that have come here the first time. This is hardcore. This isn't, you know, you're not playing at it anymore. There's lots, as Suzanne will tell you, there's lots of people out there on YouTube and social media, and you know, you'll put your footage up and they'll say, oh well, I wouldn't have done it like this and I wouldn't have done it like that. They've probably never done it at all. You know, every day you learn. I've learned this trip, Gary's learned this trip, Suzanne's learned this trip, Pete, or you know, I mean, by all means put your hand up if you haven't learned anything this trip.
I haven't.
Yeah,
But
that's the next meet.
No, I've learned loads.
Yeah, every
Loads.
single time we've been here, Liam will tell you, Matt, it's different.
Yeah.
Every time is different. Everybody thinks, oh yeah, you go to the Arctic, you do this, you do that. You do. Like Suzanne says, your rule of threes,
Yeah.
your tent admin, things like that. You do it, but it's not all the same. I guarantee the next time you set this tent up, it's not going to have this ridge pole.
No.
It's not.
No.
It's probably, your stove's going to be somewhere else. You'll be sleeping somewhere else. Only 2 nights ago there's 2 people in here, now Pete's in too. So the sleeping arrangements changed. You know, things change every day. It's like when you get up in the morning, you're risk assessing. People talk about risk assessments. It used to be called common sense. But yeah, as soon as you get out of bed in the morning, you're risk assessing. Should I put my feet on the floor? Is it dry? Is it warm? Yes, it is. Should I go to the loo? Is the door shut? Yes, it is. I'll open it instead of walk through it. Risk assessments happen. And you guys are risk assessing all the time. Yeah? You're risk assessing all the time.
Just set it there next to me. Just set it sort of in the middle, far away from the fire. There, in the middle, it makes 3D. Yeah, it's perfect. So you can hear each
Like
other.
you say, Dave, it's about adapting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Adapting to every changing situation.
Yeah.
But
And
also
also
driving
just
as well.
just looking and thinking.
Yeah.
Think before you do anything.
I mean, I have, you know, a very simple tent rule. Don't do anything dumb.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of covers most things, really.
But I think you know, it was a rocky start for us because you know we had the weather, we had the distance. You know, we had, you know,
Conditions on the road as well.
Conditions on the
cars.
road. Yeah, that was a dangerous,
Yeah.
dangerous driving or walking
Far
rather.
more dangerous than the weather, the Arctic.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just-
We're all
yeah.
on tent trucks, and I think that
I think we all overestimated
That slowed us down considerably, because every time a massive truck come, you were like, "Whoa, pull into the side, stop." You know,
Turn around
so they can see high-vis.
Yeah, more high-vis. Yeah. There were
Get
nerves.
your torches on.
But we got here, and then we got here. You know, tents were put up. You know, a couple of us suffered. I know, like Jason suffers with his hips. Pete suffered.
Yeah, my walk-in, I
Yeah,
was
the
severely
walk-in.
dehydrated and.
But as a team, and this is the key, as a team, Suzanne was there. She recognised signs, because that's the other thing. If you're with somebody 24 hours a day, you don't see your kids grow up. It's the person that comes in a month later that goes, "Wow, isn't such a body massive?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
because we're with Jason and he's in the group and he's okay and we're all motoring on.
And Jason's always a quiet one anyway.
And Jason is quiet. But but as soon as we came in, Suzanne goes, "Right, okay, you're looking a bit on the edge there, you know, flash hypothermia."
One smart move that I think worked, and we should always use, is if someone is slower because of an injury, you put them up front.
Yes, always.
Set the pace.
That's all that.
Basic stuff. But
Yeah, you
basic
march at your
stuff
slowest man, because otherwise you leave people behind. And I have a thing: you never leave a man behind.
Never.
You don't. You know, we come as a
Not one
team,
man,
we
you
go
might
as a
leave
team.
two men.
Hey?
Sometimes you might need to leave two men.
Yeah,
that's
but
okay.
you
Yeah,
never
but
leave
you don't
never
just
leave
one man.
somebody on
Yeah.
his own,
Yeah.
because you know
That's it. No,
you just don't.
You noticed it. I mean, I'll tell you the story later, but there's some more stories about flash hypothermia, even more gratuitous news.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you can feel a bit
I
better.
hope so. That's like it. You know, it's nothing.
But it's like when I went to the shops.
2 days
First
to
thing,
find, but
Julie's there. She's me, well, as well as my partner, she's my tent buddy, she's my group
right.
buddy.
Yeah.
So I'm like to Liam and the lads, right, I'm going to town, look after Julie, please.
And she looks
And
after
even,
us.
and even when I went to town, you know, though, we went past that shop that said like -25, and I had a little panic attack. I'm like, God, I've left my partner in -25.
Yeah.
And then I thought,
And what was she doing? She was building snowmen.
and what's more, getting you lot too. Getting you lot too. Yeah.
No, she was busy. She was batting in wood, building snowmen.
Yeah.
Snowshoeing.
Says she's
Yeah.
snowshoeing, she's out bumming, hacking it.
Yeah, we're out missioning, like getting it done.
Yeah, I come back and it's like, how have you been?
Wolverine
Oh, we've been
trails.
out snowman. There's a bear there. There's a snow god up there. The what's it? The
Tapu.
And it's like, oh right, so yeah, so you struggled then. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
yeah,
say
but
no
look-
to unnecessary suffering, man. That's
Oh,
all.
Yeah,
Well,
and make it fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we're here. It's a holiday,
What
and
we
it's
do-
got to be fun.
Why are we doing it if it's not fun?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to hear what I don't want to say newbies anymore. I'm intrigued to hear what the first timers
Yeah.
have to say and
this
what
is
they think
important.
about this.
Julie,
Go on.
No, I'm not done.
Julie,
Yeah.
so obviously you are outgoing anyway. You ride a motorcycle, you've just been across Europe.
I'm not outgoing.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. All right, you knit when you're doing it, you knit when you're doing it, and you make snowmen.
she's
and things.
adventurous.
But you're outgoing, Julie, you are. Whether you believe it or not, you are. And you're up for it, and you have a go at anything, and you try, and you don't care if you fail, as long
Yeah.
as you have fun and you do it. And I think that's a good quality to have.
Yeah,
and
I
I think it's served you well on this trip.
One of the main things for me is I listen and watch a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think any question is a stupid question. So if I'm thinking something,
Yeah.
I will ask that question, because it could be, and I say this at work a lot actually, because I do a lot of training at work. If I'm thinking it, somebody else might be as well,
Yeah.
but they won't ask that question.
They won't ask.
So I will ask those stupid questions.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
There's no such thing as a stupid question,
Yeah.
only a stupid answer.
42.
so yeah, things like that.
yeah.
And one of the things I did pick up on is I love how everybody does look out for each other. It feels like a little family, and even like we've only just met,
Yeah,
but
just
it
down
feels
through.
like everybody just comes into
Yeah.
a lovely little
Yeah.
family unit, and everyone looks out for each other. You were a little bit quiet yesterday, so I was like, Gary, you all right?
I'm
And
very quiet though.
you are, but and I walked in, you saw snow on my back, so you just did that off for me.
Yeah,
And
just did it for me
everybody's-
then.
Everybody just looks
little
out
stuff
for
in it.
each other, and it might only be a teeny tiny thing,
Yeah.
but it can really bump you right back up again, and I love that.
Yeah, we've
I think-
lost it in the general society.
Yeah.
Easy physical intimacy, like
Yeah.
small, really
Yeah,
okay
just-
intimacy that's caring.
We've
isn't
lost
around.
tribalism.
Yeah, it's gone.
And
Because everybody's offended
Yeah.
these days. Everybody's offended. It's like the
Or you're scared of offending someone.
well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, somebody once said to me, "Where did chivalry go?" I said it followed femininity straight out the door,
Yeah.
because like you get done for it now.
Yeah.
You know, if you open a door, especially in big cities, you
Yeah,
open a
when
door
the balls
for a
went.
woman.
That's where it
Fucking
went.
hell.
Yeah.
It's like
Women are going like,
Yeah,
well,
I
why
open
aren't you
it for
opening the
men
door
as
for
well.
me?
it's like, I can open the door for
I
myself. I said,
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it because
Yeah.
you couldn't open the door. I was just doing it to be respectful. But
Yeah.
Decent kind of human being, and
Yeah.
I like
Matt
doing
did
nice
it.
things for people.
I
Yeah.
still open doors for
When we went
people, and
out,
I don't have a problem with it,
on
even
the
if they say
inside
something
of the
like,
road,
well, I'm
so
still going to
you
open
can
the door
traffic.
because it's saving you in.
Isn't it?
I'm
Yeah.
wondering,
What did you want to say, Matt?
I
Yeah.
was going to say, I'm wondering whether that's
threw me in
because
the traffic.
with Susanna saying like this is a rare thing, like there's not many groups that kind of do this. There's survival training groups. There's people who take like people out to kind of train them. There's individuals who do it in like kind of their back garden, backwoods.
Yeah.
But there isn't very many groups that do like this, and I think it's something to do with kind of this camaraderie, teamwork, because we're so close at home anyway. Coming out here and looking out for each other is just second nature because we do it every
Yeah,
time
we do it Middlewood, don't we?
every time we go out.
Yeah.
Like one of the things I've noticed is that like in mine and Matt's tent, we've not really had to communicate with saying, oh, should you get this on, should you get that on. It's whoever is, I don't know, up first, or whoever's just got that capacity to do it just starts doing it. There's no questions like asked about it, and it's been quite funny because we've been saying like, oh, thanks for doing that, thanks for doing that, and the response is, oh, don't worry about it, it's nothing, because it isn't anything.
nothing, you just do it.
It's just second nature to look after your buddy and your team and your family, and it's yeah.
It's like when you came in, I had the hot tent
It's just
on,
like the
Yeah.
no
angle.
matter what, and I had the hot
You were
water on,
running
and I
round
kept on
after
coming around.
everybody. Have you got a drink? Have you
Yeah.
got a drink?
That was brilliant. When was it when we first turned up and I came over and you were saying, oh, has everybody had a drink? I've got some hot water in. So I came over
Yeah.
and I filled my cup up and I said, oh, thanks, Pete. And I started walking. He goes, no, wait there. And he filled it up again. And I downed that one. I was like, oh, thanks, Pete, right? And I started walking. He goes, no, wait there. And he filled it up again and I drank it. And I was like, right, now I feel full of water. So thank you very much. He goes, right, now you can go.
I'm quite. Jason.
Yes, mate.
Jason. Like, especially in terms of. I broke your tripod. It's fine. Like in terms of you being here and the flash hypothermia,
Yes.
and I know you weren't quite compass mentis and with it,
Yeah.
but coming out of that and even being in it, how have you felt about that camaraderie?
I've learnt, well, the camaraderie worked for me. I mean, I've followed a very circuitous bushcraft training thing throughout my life, I suppose, in a way. From being in groups and not really feeling like a part of the group, just being almost a hanger-on.
Yeah.
But coming into this group and feeling like there's people around me that actually genuinely care about me, and I'm as important part. I feel like I'm as important part of the group as anybody else in the group. There's no there's no hierarchy in the group, but there's no sort of one or two people are the key elements of the group, and if they wandered away, the group would fall apart.
No, not
You see that in a lot of groups.
Yeah.
You know, I've been an instructor. I've taught tracking. I've done all these sort of things, but nothing had prepared me for coming here. Now, I've wanted to come out to the Arctic for a very, very, very long time. I'm going to say decades. I've wanted to experience it. I wanted to test myself. But I've just wanted to actually just experience it as well, from a spiritual element. But to come out here, and I was getting to a very, very low space when I got here. I got here, my hips were giving me grief from towing the toboggan. I carried far more weight than I really should have done. But as I've never towed a toboggan before, I didn't know what the weight limit should have been. I got into camp. I was so focused on getting everything set up, getting everything right. I wasn't listening to myself. And the minute I stopped, I went rapidly downhill. And I've, we hear all the sort of techniques, all the things about what you do to check for somebody with hypothermia. Listen to the pulse rate and
mumbles,
all
fumbles,
mumbles, stumbles, fumbles, grumbles. I wasn't complaining, but I don't often complain. I'm doing all the kind of touch my fingers, all these things. Is everything working? And I kind of gone into my own little bubble, my own little world of I'm okay, I just need to sleep. I'm okay, I just need to sleep. Imagine if I'd come away on my own without that group, with that attitude.
That's a classic
Exactly.
hypothermia thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people find on the
So-
mountain are fast asleep.
That's right.
Exactly. So here you have, and I'll only say it the one time. There you have the obligatory thermos count, because you get in your back, you go, yes, I want to sleep. Oh, that's a very good idea. You don't fight it, and you get in your sleeping bag, and you drink that last third. That belongs to who? Your mother.
Your mother.
You drink your mother last third of lava stuff.
Yeah.
And you go for a sleep. And if you do that, if you'd have done that, hey, no problem, right? 20 minutes later, half an hour later, you're back to life, because it's the life flame. The life flame gets very small here. And we felt it on the coldest night. We had to fight to keep the life flame. Yeah, keep going.
But
though,
it
because
was
exactly that.
that that's what's really dawned on me. One, it's about being in a group that I can trust, that I feel confident in, and obviously that I'd never heard of flash hypothermia before. I'd heard of hypothermia, and I've trained on how to treat hypothermia, but that I didn't recognise it myself. I've never had hypothermia before anyway, but that was just astonishing. It really was, and how fast it came on.
But now we all know.
Well, now we all know.
And so, I guess, so from a negative, there's a positive.
Absolutely.
Now,
Yeah.
if any one of us,
Yeah.
or if you're out, because some of you guys, especially you young lads, you wanna might bump this up career-wise. Eventually, you might want to be like Suzanne. You might want to be a guide. Either bushcraft instructor, mountain guide, canoe instructor, things like that. You fall in the water. It doesn't matter where you are. It can happen. If you go to Hawaii and you start climbing Kilauea and stuff like that, you're in the snow line pretty soon, even though it's 35 degrees. So it don't matter where you are, shit can happen. And now that you know, and now that you've seen it, you've taught us.
Yeah, you're one of the very few groups that have experienced it in a structured format. And if you want, actually, I'm happy to write logbook entries, right, with specifics. So, and that kind of says, I say you are qualified to do X with these limitations in these environments, which is pretty neat for your professional thing if you want it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, is it too hot? Because we'll just shut it.
You can close the vents on it a bit.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We'll just make
Keep
it
it warm.
It's cherry red here. I'm like,
You can turn that ring down on that side. Turn it to the horizontal.
got a glove, somebody?
Somebody's got a glove.
Yeah, I've got the Can you not shut it here?
Yeah, there as well.
Can you shut it at the front?
Just slide it one way or the other. That's it.
like it.
That's it. Yeah. Just rotate that carefully.
That'll
It's
already
red
make
hot.
a big difference. Hang on, just try it with this for now.
I tend to use a stick.
Yeah, just make it a bit
That's it. There you go.
really closed. There.
And I guess, sorry, sorry, Suzanne. I didn't know if you were finished.
No,
no.
Always the stove must have priority.
And I'm also quite intrigued because we've all experienced deep cold before. How has your perception of cold changed? We talk about it flippantly. We talk about, it gets to -10. Bloody hell, we're in base layers, or it's so warm. But from your point of view, how has your perception of cold changed?
When people at home say, "Oh, I'm freezing."
Yeah.
How do you feel you'd react to that now?
Yeah, I mean, we had a trial by fire, didn't we? Because the first night we cold camped without any stove, and then soon after, the next couple of nights, it just got colder and colder and colder. So it wasn't, if we'd done it the other way around and we'd started off like a few warmer days, and then it was cold, we're like, oh gosh. But I think because we've had that -30, this morning I woke up and I was like, oh, do you know it's quite mild today? What's the temperature? -10. Oh, that's nothing. Like, it's crazy. And it was the exact same thing. Without doing it, you can't really say you know what you're on about. When you hear the people saying like, oh, -10 is like, oh no, you don't want that, you want it colder, you completely get it, but the only way you're going to get it is if you experience it, because it's only when you've experienced that, -30, even -20 feels warmer than what your lowest has ever been. So yeah, walking out like that was going for a piss in my base layers, and it's like -10, -15, and you're like, oh, this is nothing, because you've experienced a lot colder, and this is, I suppose you acclimatise a little bit. I know you need a bit longer, but
I think this is the important thing is what people don't often say is temperature's just a number.
Yeah.
10 degrees, 20 degrees,
It's-
above, below. It's a number. It's
how you
relative.
feel.
It's how do you feel.
Correct.
Because if you think about it, back at home, I mean, our biggest hill, shall we say, is Kinder Scout.
Yeah.
My father was in Kinder Mountain Rescue Team. People die on Kinder Scout at 10, 12 degrees
Oh, of course
centigrade
they will, because they're wet.
of hypothermia.
It's not just the temperature, it's the other conditions around it. It's the humidity,
Yeah.
Wet, wind.
wet, wind, everything. It's all everything you take into consideration on it.
Yeah, go on.
And
you
what's
might be
also
right.
interesting about it is that when you think about brain function, right? Because we're trying to do human
No, yeah.
factors.
That's right. That's right.
Conditions integral to life, right?
Exactly.
So this is a human factors conversation that we're having. Human factors, so all human factor stuff applies. Your back brain, survival part of your brain, recognizes cold below about 20, and especially with the high humidity had, it recognizes it as life-threatening. And so you're functioning normally, but your whole system is in a state of like safe mode, Windows safe mode. Okay, you don't have drivers anymore. And your body has done that automatically because it recognizes the cold as life-threatening, which it was. 30 degrees minus is life-threatening. Okay, you have to take measures, and if you see someone who's not taking measures at 30 degree minus, it's your human duty to take them somewhere warm.
Yeah.
And so that, if you recognize it and you go, oh look, it's damn cold, I'm in, and just laugh out loud. It works for fucking paragliding. So look, it's really cold outside. Hey brain, are we feeling like it's really cold? Yeah, all right, let's implement, and just laugh about it. Let's implement some cold weather situations so we can be relaxed about it, because otherwise...
Well, we kind of did
Yes, you did it, didn't you?
which,
when we got to our Sub-Zero.
oh right, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a hug. It's like, hey Julie, guess what temperature it is? She was like, oh no. I came up and I said, Julie, I need you to stand up. Why? Why do you need me to stand up? I was like, just stand up. Why? Because I need to give you a hug. Why? Because it's -20 and we made it.
It was just a joyful.
Yeah.
And
Do you get a star if you did -30? No, seriously, do you get a gold one? I think you should get a gold snowflake if you've hit
We've done that,
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Minus
I think
32.
minus 17.5 is 0 on both scales.
No, it's minus 14.
14 on 0 Fahrenheit.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Minus 14
so
on both.
to get the leather patch,
Yeah,
It's a Sub-Zero.
yeah, Sub-Zero
yes.
patch. You've got to be
Hang on,
on
yeah.
both scales.
Can we actually just verify this? If anybody's going to know about it, what's 0 on both scales?
40.
Minus.
Thought it was 40.
40.
40.
Yeah.
So why on the
Oh,
internet?
sorry, 0 on both scales. 0 is 32 and 40 is when the scales are equal. Minus
Yeah,
40C
no.
is the same as minus 40F.
Yeah.
Okay.
32F is 0C.
It says 17.5 on the web.
What?
I've heard minus 14.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait.
No,
Tell me the question again.
So if when
0
if you
degrees
what's 0
Fahrenheit
degrees Fahrenheit in
It's
Celsius?
minus
Minus
17.
Well, some say it's about 15. For
yeah.
Right,
any,
okay,
for
good.
any rule of thumb
Yeah.
requirement. just go
Okay,
15.
great. All right.
Right, there you go. Yeah,
All
you go.
right. So, but then
Both
minus
numbers
40 is
are the
when they
same.
equal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
minus
Minus
40.
40C is the same as
Minus 40F.
Yeah.
What a weird system.
Because
Yeah, but okay.
Fahrenheit's isn't it based off a logarithm scale?
It's based off
I
blood.
don't know. It's Americans.
Fahrenheit's based.
I don't get the Fahrenheit.
We're in it anyway.
Fahrenheit first, and then,
Yeah.
then somebody metricized it.
Yeah, amazing centigrade. Yeah.
You know, lo and behold,
French.
the metric system.
French get in the way again.
You could get a bit of
The
up there.
temperature was going down, but because we were prepared, I actually didn't feel the cold.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So I knew it was that temperature.
Yeah.
But because
you
we
dressed
were
properly.
prepared and because we thought about what we were bringing with us,
Wool.
I didn't feel cold.
No, because
I knew it was cold.
Because you're dressing right.
Yeah. But
there is a
that
big there's a big
preparation-
hats off to you guys who are saying like you don't some of the kit you need doesn't need to be anything special. Go to a charity shop and get a thick wool jumper because that's going to be a lot better for you than something else that you could spend £300 like buying.
Yes.
Like all you like wool is king. You layer up. I mean, there was another day when I was feeling a bit cool, so I just put one more layer on. And I was like, this is so much better. Instead of just trying to put your big mothership on and you've only got like a base layer underneath, like those layers, everything you've said, like there's nothing that I've said, you know what, they were wrong about what they said about that. Everything that you've said
It's like
has worked, has been effective, and yeah, so massive hats off hats off to you guys.
This is in a lot of ways what the group was originally set up for. I mean, it was, I mean, like Jason, I'd wanted to sort of go to the Arctic for many years, and BC UK sort of offered a couple of cheap courses with Andy Woods, and signed up for those, and eventually only one of them ran, but I went for 2 weeks anyway. But sitting around the campfire on the course, you know, and saying to people, well, why have you done this? And a lot of people were just, I just wanted to do it, and then I said, well, what are you going to do next?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, that was the point where most people hadn't really thought much about what they wanted to do with it next, where what I wanted to do was set up something like this, because if you can get a certain amount of experience into a group, then you can take new people out and they can experience it without it having to cost a fortune, without you having to pay for extremely expensive courses and things like that. Now, I mean, there's weaknesses in that system, but there's also strengths in that system. And you know, I think we've worked through some of that this weekend.
Yeah.
Which is great.
yeah, every trip's different. It's like, especially with me, some kit which has worked a lot previous
Yeah.
has failed
For
on
sure.
this one. Other
mean,
bits have worked brilliantly. And
I seriously underestimated how difficult
it's wet.
cheaper the powder would be to work with.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially to begin with, when we were only down to like -4.
Yeah, I mean that was hard work.
That,
you know.
yeah, it was
And
hard
it
work.
wasn't
We wanted a cold.
and it wasn't reconsolidating
Yeah.
or anything like that.
It was
so-
weird, wasn't it? The snow?
Yeah,
Really weird.
it was weird as snow when we got
You
it.
guys had
Yeah.
your Sami would
Yeah.
come up with
Yeah.
a name for it.
Yeah, Inuit left 10 names for it.
Yeah. And I think what we kind of base everything on is the indigenous tribal people, don't we? So,
yeah, I mean, you
look
know,
at people who live in the Arctic. What are they wearing? How are they doing
They
it?
said though, but the aunt of Caro said to me also, because I, you know, it's not that often you and I are that mystified by snow. We were sort of mystifying over it quite a bit.
Yeah.
We're like, whoa, what's going on with this?
Yeah.
Because it was like crumbly and all.
But it was almost acting as though it was harder snow, but it was damp.
Yeah.
And we're going like, well, it's not damp snow, it's not dry snow, it's both.
And Mari commented on it. So I asked our local friend, it's like, oh, isn't it weird? And she goes, ooh, are you right in this weird snow? I said, it's weird snow. And she goes, yeah, it's the weirdest snow I've seen in ages.
Do you know why I think?
not just
Do you
me.
know why I
No.
think?
Fair enough.
I think we're in a bit of a marshland, to tell you the truth.
We
Because
are.
our first camp was like sugar. I think some dampness is probably still coming up from the ground.
That's
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah. So it's like hoarfrost almost, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would
Yeah, that
make
makes
Because have you noticed if you dig down to the ground, you
Yeah.
can still move the earth a little
Yeah,
bit.
you
Yes.
can.
You couldn't do that at our other camp spot.
Yeah, you can. We've been able to hammer, like for our stove,
So it's
we've been
cheap.
able to hammer stuff into the ground.
Yeah.
If it's permafrost,
Insulated marsh.
yeah, you're never going to be able to do
So-
that. So, yeah.
So when you're
Makes
choosing your
sense.
camp spots, you look for little bits that are slightly higher for two reasons. One, it's going to be dry, and the other one is you're going to be out of that cold well.
Yeah.
You're camping in low ground, you're sat right in a natural cold sink.
You're in.
That's why Jotmock's so cold, because you got all. It's not.
Well, it's all.
It's not as high up as other countries, other places in Sweden,
Yeah.
but because of where it is, it's a natural cold
I
sink.
think the coldest ever temperature in Sweden's been recorded in Jotmock, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I think the coldest
50,
in
was it?
Finland
Is
is
Katila?
here as well.
It's Katila.
Yeah, it's Katila.
there you go.
Minus, was it minus 40?
Minus
40, yeah.
31.5 right here. Yeah, I'm gonna thank you for the patch, by the way. I'm gonna rate a minus 31.5 on it right there.
yeah.
Is that what we got to?
Susanna, give us your address before you leave it on the interweb, and we send you
Is that
some
what we got to?
level 1.
That's the lowest it's gone on my sensor.
Yeah.
Let's trust your one.
Yeah.
31.5.
So minus 31.5 is the official depth of the.
I'll check it again later before you write it on there. But yeah.
Still haven't beat my record. 32.1.
No.
32.1. That's my record.
What's your record, Dave?
47.5.
Minus 54.
47.5 cold tenting.
Yeah. Oh, no, not cold
Cold
tenting.
tenting, just a little
Fucking
stove
hell.
for
Cold
cooking.
camping, it was minus 38.
Yeah, cold
I can't
camping
give it
minus 38.
Fucking that was cold.
Yeah. Cold camping with him minus 38.
That wasn't warm.
That wasn't warm.
No, on my own, no dog.
No stove.
One
stove
stove,
back
just the
Antarctica
stove
as well.
for the. That's where I learned about
Classic dragging
the
down
flask. I can tell you.
Oh, I've done minus 40 with
Was that
9 dogs in a baker tent.
Yeah.
It was mint. I was just puppy puddles.
Yeah,
No stove,
No,
the
don't need
warmest I have
Doable,
ever
doable,
been.
achievable.
9 dogs on you, mate.
9
Anywhere,
dogs.
You don't need a
And,
stove.
and we drove from a place called Georgetown to a place called Lloydminster in northern Canada.
Actually, let's update you on that lower temperature.
Oh.
Minimum temperature in the last week, 32.9.
All the threes.
All the threes. All the
Quitos,
threes.
I haven't got my
Tokyo.
glasses
What
on,
was it?
but
30?
Oh, Dave, can we
30
call it?
what?
Can we call it all the
32.9.
threes?
All the
32.9.
I mean, 0.98, yeah, I think we can call that all the threes.
32.98.
Minus 33.
That's 33. 33.
0.4 of a degree off all the threes.
All the threes, mate.
Yeah.
If you guys agree, Gary said there's all the threes. It's
All the threes.
All the threes.
We got all the threes.
First bump, first bump. First bump, first bump. First bump, Moylan.
Yeah, baby. Get in there, buddy.
Hey man, watch out. That will remind us of the radio procedure, won't it?
Yeah, rule of three. Rule of three, day 3.
Never again will we forget all
All
the
the
threes.
threes.
3, 3, 3. Yeah.
3, 3, 3.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for that.
Beat my record. That's it. And the company.
Yeah.
9 people.
Exactly.
3 threes.
All the threes. And the
It was meant to be.
Yeah. All the threes.
So we're hoping to have a new guy next year called Jim Park. He's a Viking, he loves the outdoors. And it would be great if he could come, because he's such a nice guy. But,
Wow.
that is awesome. Family issues getting away sometimes, holidays and stuff.
Hopefully if Jim comes,
That'll be cool.
we can get him in here so we can be a team.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
Yeah, he would. He's lovely.
I think he would do best being in with you.
Which one?
Yeah, he'd be alright with us because he suffers with cold hands.
Yeah, Reynolds.
Which at least one of them
Yeah.
today.
We have them gloves.
Maybe 2 or 3
What Jason made.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, chuck us them. What have a go?
Yeah, let's talk about Chris Eubanks
Oh,
gloves.
so can you get them, Gary?
Chris Eubanks Club.
Chris Eubanks
Never met
gloves.
us
These are
before.
fucking...
Have you heard? Chris Eubanks written a book on ethics.
Thank you.
Next year he's doing one on Kent.
I tell you, man, it's
Let man.
yeah. Pikey Fights 2023. calling you out, Ginny O'Connell. I'm calling you out. You come down here. I swear, me and my boys, we take our tops off. We do it the right way. Jimmy O'Connell. Yeah, like men do it.
60 grand.
Yeah.
We're going to have a good Christmas this year if you win this.
Won't be no nose picking in these, boys. Won't be picking your boogers in these.
12 people.
I'll tell you
Show
what,
up at
mush your
10 o'clock
gloves
in the morning.
though. Look at that.
Yeah, I think they could emergency gloves.
Oh
Someone's
my
got like really
God.
good.
I bet he's made love to those.
They're still molting a lot.
Yeah.
They're still warm from it. You've made love to them, haven't you? One of them between a pillar, top of your bed.
And because
It's
of
just
the
like-
noise,
it's like-
That's just come out. I didn't even pull that.
It's like a
I'll stick
Christmas
that
friend,
back in.
isn't it?
Go on, there you go.
you
There we go.
don't even worry about whether it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Give it. And
There's a gibbon. Where? In this temperature?
if you get
Oh, wow.
10 hours
I've got reindeer hair in me drink.
Gets everywhere.
Starts to normalise.
I've got a reindeer.
Your last one was making them, didn't it?
Yeah.
I've got a reindeer hide
Yeah.
that I use as part of my display with going into school. And every time I've picked it up, there's a ring of reindeer hair around it. But the reindeer hide never gets any smaller.
No.
20 odd years.
That's it, yeah.
It's just, you know, an endless supply of
Is
hair
it
coming
something
in.
like so many thousand hairs?
Because I've got one on the living room carpet and we vac every time we vac, the vac's full of reindeer hair. So don't get any thinner.
No.
Here's a nice little tidbit for you. Per centimetre, per square centimetre, how many hairs does a Siberian Husky have?
Threepence.
Threepence.
No, I know what you mean.
Threepence a foot.
It's the same with all this.
I don't know.
20,000.
Bloody hell.
Okay.
Is that summer or winter coat?
Winter coat.
Yeah.
Right. The normal British otter.
Yeah.
How many hairs per square centimetre?
Oh, that'd be more. 40.
40?
So I can then actually more than anything else.
35.
35.
Enjoy your
60. 80,000.
yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I can just
The
absorb
Californian sea otter,
Yeah.
won't even let you guess on this one, 140,000 hairs per square centimetre.
Bloody hell.
Wow.
I'm
Centimetre.
Just have a bugger counted them.
I want some of his fur.